Dan Illman, Matt Bernier kicking off a $500,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick 4 at Pimlico on Preakness Saturday with race number 6, the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint at 6 furlongs. Not only is that a great wager, but we have a great deal for DRF Bets members who like to play on their phones. Preakness Day, 10% exacta winners bonus for all of the Pimlico races on Saturday. Of course, if you have an iPhone, use the DRF iPhone app. DRF.com/Preakness bonus is where you need to go for all the information. Let's meet this field of older horses getting set to go 3/4 of a mile in the Maryland Sprint. And I want to start things off with the number 6, Wentz, who's won 3 out of his last 4 starts, Matt. He goes out for young John Tyler's service, and last time out, he was able to get to a pretty easy lead, but he was tested by the odds-on favorite in the stretch, actually passed for a stride or two, and showed a lot of guts and determination to battle back and get the bob.
And they were way ahead of everybody else in that field, 7.5 lengths back to the third place finisher. Look, it was a gutsy effort from this horse. And, you know, he's very dangerous. If this pace doesn't materialize, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's a ton signed on in here. If for some reason everyone else is content to let a horse like Wentz go, I think he could make everyone pay, even with that soft pace that he did have going for him in that most recent run. But you're right, he did. He dug in down the lane. My concern is what happens if he doesn't make the lead, because in 4 lifetime wins, he's gone gate to wire in all 4 of them.
But he has always had some quality, multiple stakes placed as a 3-year-old on the Maryland circuit. It's just that last race they ran 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around the track, and the career best buyer was earned over a sealed, muddy track. Timeform US does not believe that Wentz can make the lead, although he is very fast. That honor goes to the number 4, Lewisfield, who is your morning line favorite. And Lewisfield is just exiting some very fast races, 105 buyer, 100 buyer. If he runs anything back to that, it's quite possible he's just too good for these, especially if he can make the lead.
And I have to be honest with you, if I were the rider, Boca Chica, you'd be on a sad mission. I say, you know what, take no prisoners. I think I'm on the best horse. We're going to go to the front. Even if Wentz keeps you company, you think that you're more talented, you're classier. I would just look at it and say your speed nearest the rail. There's really only one thing for you to do, in my opinion, and that's go.
I agree with you 100%. I liked his race 2 starts back in the Not for Love off the layoff, where he just shrugged off a couple of pace challengers en route to the nice win. Couldn't really find the excuse. Last time out in the Frank Whiteley, 100-to-1 shot went out to the lead, and Lewisfield was just sitting pretty right behind him. He attacked, he made the lead, and then Lockheed just ran right by him. Lockheed is a rock-solid horse that would fit very well in this race, however. And again, that 100 buyer speed figure, 122 Timeform US speed figure, makes Lewisfield probably the horse to beat in this race. Let's go down to the horse to the rail. That's New York Central, who's sitting in 4th in our Timeform US pace projector. Good second place finish in the Grade 3 Pat Day Mile last year. Great ride by Ricardo Santana. He saved ground, he shot on through, and the last run was the best run from Funny Duck. But he disappeared after that race. He's come back okay. Nice win at Oaklawn off the bench. Last time out, I think pace compromised when wide in the Commonwealth. I just hate the fact he didn't change leads in the stretch.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a concern, but I agree with you from sort of the dynamics of that race. I don't think he got much pace to run at, and I think that compromised his chances. Also, at 7/8 of a mile, there's a part of me that thinks maybe he's better at 3/4. If I were so inclined to get cute in this race, I think it would be with a horse like this. I think he does have some upside, some potential where, for the most part, I think we know what everybody else in this field is. I feel like New York Central, if anyone's going to take a giant step forward, perhaps it's him.
I think that's a very good point. And the horse that beat him last time out, Bobby's Wicked One, came right back to run a bang-up second in that Grade 1 Churchill Downs Stakes with a 99 buyer speed figure. Fellowship, the number 2, is going to be coming from the back of the pack. I really do like the turn back in distance. I really think that he is a one-run sprinter at heart, and he is exiting a quality race. The Howell's Hope. Prince Lucky came out of that race to win the Grade 2 Gulfstream Mile with a 100 buyer. The 3rd place finisher, Quip, came back to win the Grade 2 Oaklawn Handicap with a 98 buyer. Fellowship made an inside move, angled widest into the stretch, and just flattened out. He's going to need perhaps a little bit more pace, but maybe he's a horse you can use underneath to spice up your single race exotics.
If the pace looked like it were going to be on the hotter side, maybe I'd be more enticed to use him. There's just a situation where I think they may go 1-2 or 1-2-3 around the track, because again, I don't think there's a ton signed on, and I don't know if any of them are true burners. I think that compromises a horse like Fellowship, but I agree, maybe underneath.
The horse that could turn this pace projector upside down, in my opinion, is the returning number 5, Always Sunshine, because in the past, he has shown the speed to be an early factor in a race like this. Now, he has been away for almost 5 months. He returns as a gelding, but take a look at those string of bullet workouts leading up to this race. It feels like he is doing well. In the Gravesend last time out, he just looked like a horse that was crying out for a break. He never showed any interest out of the gate. He didn't do anything on the turn, but he was in against a good horse in Recruiting Ready, who's come back to earn Buyers of 99 and 105 in his next 2 starts. The question is, what do we get off the bench? It's worth noting he won off the layoff in 2017, and he ran a good third in the Run Happy in 2018.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he is sort of the X factor in this race. First time as a gelding coming off of such a long layoff. He won this race back in 2016 over a sloppy sealed track. On his best day, he can win a race like this. It really boils down to where do you think he is here as a 7-year-old for the first time? And also from a price standpoint, he would be one where I would say, you know what, if all of a sudden he's taking a ton of early money, I would take note of that. If he opens up a little bit chilly on the board in that 8, 9, 10 to 1 range, then maybe you want to think about waiting for one off the bench.
And even if Timeform US is right, that might be a pretty good spot to be, sitting third, because you got to figure there's going to be a point when Wentz ratchets up that pressure on Lewisfield, and maybe he'll be sitting chilly in third, is the number 5, Always Sunshine. Formulator fact for the 7, Proforma, who is good on turf, who is good on dirt. Over the past 4 years, Michael Stidham, with older horses moving from turf to dirt sprints in the second start of the form cycle, 33% winners, 251 ROI, liked his most recent race on dirt 2 starts back. That was the Thanksgiving handicap, and he was on a hard chase throughout. Eventually, he wore down the pace setter. Just a sharp horse in Wind Time came right over the top of Proforma to beat him. Wind Time came back to win a stake on the turf with a 100, then a stake on the dirt with a 96. They wanted to run him in the Commonwealth, and he spiked a fever, and he had to miss that race, but I think he got a good prep last time out on the turf. This is a dangerous horse because he's versatile.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's a horse that doesn't have to come from 100 out of it. I think the only reason he was so far back in that turf sprint is because they went crazy fast early on. Admittedly, I think he's better on turf than he is on dirt. I don't think he's incapable of winning this kind of race on the main track, but I think although he only has 1 win to date on grass, I think his game goes a little bit better on the grass. I mean, even perhaps at a slightly longer distance. But again, if they go fast early, he's one that could definitely be involved.
Don't want to say anything negative about the longest shot on the board, the 3, Parade of Nations. This 5-year-old has won 10 of 25 lifetime starts, is a perfect 2-for-2 at Pimlico, but he paid $52 last time out in a $5,000 starter allowance, a race in which he only earned a 70 Buyer speed figure. He's just going to have to improve by leaps and bounds and leaps and bounds and leaps and bounds to win this.
Yeah, Connections have taken a shot in here. I'm not going to hold it against him. Look, he's going to be 1,000,000 to 1 in this spot, and based on paper, deservedly so, but he's coming in good form. And again, if you kind of know it's going to be a short field, why not take a chance? Maybe you can get a piece.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint. Again, we are kicking off a $500,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick 4. We're going with the consistent Lewisfield, believing that Boca Chica can get to the front, dissuade Wentz, and keep on going.
Yeah, take no prisoners. I say break, go right to the front and say, come and catch me. I went 4-1-5-7.
I'm going for a 2-speed number. I'm going 4-6-1-7 in the Grade 3 Maryland Sprint. It's race number 6 at Pimlico. And remember, DRF Bets mobile customers, 10% exacta winners bonus when you use your phone. Of course, you could use the DRF iPhone app as well. DRF.com/Preakness bonus is where you go. It's for all races at Pimlico on Preakness Day Saturday. Approximate post time for the Maryland Sprint, 1:28 Eastern. Good luck.